Well, hello, how you doing? This is the S. Anthony Thomas. This is the S. Anthony Says podcast. How are you doing? This is episode number 367, my friends, 367. Yes, I've done this 367 times. I need help. But then again, most of you have listened to 367 of these after this one. So you also need help. But much love and thank you. And thank you for listening to the other podcasts and all that kind of stuff. I really, really appreciate it, my friends. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, what I want to talk to you this time, my friends, this Sunday, what I want to talk to you about is, people always talk about, and they use the phrase, change is good. Change is good. And in many cases, change actually is good. I will agree with them. But sometimes change blows, right? And as you get older, change sucks. It's exciting for the new people. Oh, when you're young. Oh, this is so new and exciting. Ha ha. I love it. This is new. The new device, the new this, the new that. This one has a new that. Well, I have the iPhone 10, but I have the iPhone 10.00001. That's right. And I have they have the new iPhone 0002. It just came out, but I just got this one today. Doesn't matter. I'm going to buy the new one. Ha ha. Android 6.9 had one. How about the Android 6.9 Is that out yet? It is good. I'm going to buy it. I know I didn't even unwrap the phone I just purchased, but I'm going to get another one. After you get to about 40 years old, it's like, look, this phone still works. Can I afford the new phone? Yes. Am I going to purchase the new phone? No. Why? I think I just answered that question. This phone still works. So, no. When people meet me, they go, you still have the same car you've had all of these years? Yes, I do. You know why I have the same car I had all these years? Because when I get in it and I stick my key in the ignition, it goes, and it starts. And when I step on the gas pedal, it goes forward. And when I hit the brakes, it stops. And when I decide I want to go from point A to point B, guess what the car does? Takes me there. So why should I get another car if the car I have works? But it's old. It still works. If you've been listening to me, my podcast for a long period of time, and I know a lot of you have, you know that I don't give up on anything or replace anything until the thing I has blows the hell up. When it gets to the point where it can't work anymore or it becomes so annoying that it messes up the process of using it, then I'll get another one. Hey man, your TV, the buttons don't work. Doesn't matter. The remote control does, right? Then the remote control blows up and I have to buy a universal remote control. And what that means is some of the functions no longer work. You know, you can't just hit the numbers and go straight to a channel. You have to go up, or down to get to the channel. You know what? That sucks. But guess what? I can still get to the channel. Granted, if something's on channel 95, I get carpal tunnel syndrome getting to that channel. But guess what? I still get to it. It just means I have to miss the last 6 minutes of whatever show I'm watching and then just get to the channel I wanted just in time to watch it, which is why I don't know how any television show has ended for the past 3 years. F y'all, don't judge me. But then what happened is that remote control blew up. Right? And I figured I'll just get another one of those, but they no longer make that remote control. I have to get another universal remote control. And this one has different functions. Now I have to do this to get to the channel, where before I had to do that to get to the channel. Now you have to take the remote control and stick it in front of the TV and you have to find the code for your specific TV. And what does that mean? You push in the little code and you have to push the up button sometimes as many as 400 times as it cycles through all the codes. And then what happens is if it matches the code on the TV, which hopefully it will, then your TV just shuts off to let you know, yeah, that's the code. And then you're supposed to hit the enter button and now your remote control works. But what happens is You get so into it, 150, 151, 152, 153, 154, 155, 156, 157. You start going faster and faster and faster to cycle through the codes. And you're not paying attention. You're having a conversation with somebody. Yeah, man, this freaking remote control, man, I got to hit this like 400 times. I'm not even counting anymore. I'm just going to keep hitting this button until the TV shuts off. And you're talking, and then the person goes, hey, and you go, what? And you realize the TV shut off. It shut off 7 or 8 pushes ago, which means you have to start over again. You pushed it 300 something times. The TV went off, but because you pushed 2 more times, you have to start from scratch. And this time you sit there and you decide, that's it, damn it. I'm not letting that happen again. I'm going to pay close attention. I'm going to make sure I don't go past 1, 2, 3, 4. You do it methodically. 5. You get around 70, then you start getting impatient again. 75, 76, 77. You get into the 250s, and it's 51 to 52, 300, and you're sitting there going, this is some bull stuff, man. This is some bull stuff. And you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And invariably the phone rings. You get on the phone. Yeah, man, it's remote control. The television goes off. You went past again. Oh. And that's when you finally break down and buy a new television. And that's how it is. Everybody talks about change being good. Change is good sometimes. Right? Like when you go through what I just went through with the television and you get the new television, right? And it's a brand new TV. It looks great. And the remote control is incredible and double incredible and quadruple incredible and all of that crap. You want to kiss the remote control because you can go straight to the channel you want to go to, right? In fact, this remote control is so good. You put it in your lap. It actually crawls up to your chest. It actually rests on the shoulder automatically and gives you a back rub while you're watching the football game. I know you don't believe me, but if you got a better television set, you would get back rubs from your remote control too. Don't hate on me. All you gotta do is buy a better television. That does not happen, of course. But change can suck, man. Because I have a new cell phone now. I have my old cell phone, and as I've already said, I hold on to products until they blow up. And finally, my phone, which was working fine, finally blew up, and I had to go to the store, purchase a new phone, and then go through the process again of setting up the new phone. Oh. Got a lot of apps on my phone. Not any wasted apps. All the apps on my phone are apps that I use. I literally use all the apps on my phone. But you have to set all that crap up all over again when you get the new phone. And it takes a while to suck the apps down out of the cloud. Right? Do you remember all your passwords? Of course you don't. And you didn't even have to think about it. Right? The app loads on your phone, and all of a sudden you got to try to remember 106 passwords or whatever the hell is on there. You know, eventually everything will catch up, and Google or whatever you're using will link up all the apps, and then the passwords will be there. But you gotta wait. And I made the mistake of doing it in the store. I should have just purchased a phone, gone home, and loaded everything on the Wi-Fi. But I'm now watching as the lady in the store loads all my apps using data in an area where data is not that great to begin with. It doesn't matter what kind of phone you're using, whatever it is in that particular area. You could have a super expensive phone and the data is a little slow there. And as I mentioned, I have 106 apps. I said, you know what? I'm going to finish this at home. I take the phone. I go home. I get to the Wi-Fi. It's still a pain in the neck, but it's a lot faster. And finally, all the apps are loaded on the phone. And I notice it is way better than the phone that I had before. Way better. No, this would be better than the phone I had before. And this is one of those times where I go, you know what? I'm actually glad that old phone broke. Because in this case, change was good. This phone's infinitely better. I go to my supermarket. And it's a supermarket I go to all the time. And I have built up relationships with the staff in the supermarket. I built up relationships with the security people who knew me, with the tellers who knew me, with the stocking people who knew me, right? You go into the store, you feel like you're walking into Cheers. Remember the 80s series Cheers? Norm! Everybody would say Norm when you walked in. I'd walk in, hey, everybody would know me when I walked in. This time I walked in, I didn't hear anybody go, hey! And I'm thinking maybe they're distracted. Maybe they're distracted. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I walk into the aisle to get something that I wanted to get. I see somebody stocking the shelf. He's got the same uniform on that's for the store. I walk up behind him. I'm about to give him a high five because this is a guy that I know. That's not him. It's a new dude. And I asked him, why is everything moved? Well, we're redoing the store. And they are redoing the store. Well, could you tell me where blah, blah, blah is? I don't know yet. Oh. The guy that stocks stuff doesn't know where stuff is. Great. A couple of weeks ago, I would have walked into that store and I would have asked the guy, hey, what's going on, buddy? You know what flop-de flop is? Well, of course I do. Aisle 6, look down 6 inches from the floor. Look, use your right hand to get it because that's going to be the hand that's closest to it. All that good info. This guy ain't even know where the stuff is in the aisle that he's standing in. Oh. 15 minutes goes by, none of the people that are stocking know where anything is except in their aisle they're actually in at the time. I finally find the stuff that I want. I go up to the counter. Who's this? There's a new lady at the counter that's the teller in the place where I normally would go and I'd have a teller that I had seen so many times and been to so many times. It was almost like we were friends. But this person, not even friendly. Barely looks at the customers. I'm used to someone who damn near hugs me when I walk in, and now I go into somebody who probably wish I wasn't even there because I'm taking up their time that they could be using looking at their phone. Oh. The person that used to be there used to always tell me about sales and deals. I'd go to the counter. Hey, you know what? Know what's on sale? And you usually buy this. Why don't you go get some floop-de-floop? And I go, wait a minute. The floop-de-floop's on sale? Oh man, I'll go get it. And then I go get it and I save some money. This person probably would hide the floop-de-floop so I wouldn't come back to get it. Yeah, that's how mean she was to everybody. Did I mention the security people? The security people didn't even pay attention to me when I went into that store because they knew me and they knew I wasn't going to take anything. All of a sudden now I got to break in some new security people. I walk into the store and all of a sudden the guy's actually changing costumes in the aisle. I'm looking at him. Dude, I know you're the security guard. I am not the security guard. First of all, that accent is racist because you're a black dude. You don't have that accent, right? And I said, you should be ashamed of yourself. I walked in the next aisle. All of a sudden, he's dressed up in a country and western outfit singing Old Town Road. Look, punk, you ain't Little Nas X or whatever. Get out of here. Oh, take this road to the Old Town Road. You ain't fooling anybody. You're the same security guard from the other aisle, you punk. Now I gotta break that guy in if I ever go back to the store. And it sucks. Another instance where change is bad. Turn on my television to watch the local news, right? And this local news pretty much does the same thing. They have the old white guy and the super hot black lady that's next to him as the anchor, right? I guess that's the thing that they're doing now. Super hot young black woman, old guy. Right? And he's either really, really funny or really, really cool. One of those things. But that's the dynamic there, right? Hey, I'm going to show you the new things. I don't like new things. I'm going to show you, Bill. You know, that's what's going on there, right? And I'll be honest with you, it's fun to watch. And I like that old guy and I like the super hot black lady because not only is she super hot, she's a fantastic reporter, which is even more important than her super hotness. When I turn on and she's not there and I'm thinking maybe she's on vacation. Oh, she's not on vacation. She moved on to another market. Oh no. And that's the thing they do. They just change, right? Super hot young black lady moves on to another market. Who do they hire? Another super hot young black lady, and they try to act like it's the same person. You're looking at, that's a different super hot black lady, buddy. I'm not fooled. And they actually went out and found someone with a similar name. Well, Renee's no longer here, but Renee is here. What? Renee? Come on, man. You ain't fooling anybody. Bastards. She doesn't have the same personality as Renee. Renee is a little bit different. Renee was light and bubbly. Renee is very professional, right? She's just not really buying into the fun-loving ways of the morning program. And now I can't watch that crap anymore. Change is bad. But in the grand scheme of things, if you really, really think about it, if you control the change that happens, if you're the one making the actual change, then change could be good, right? You're a fat boy, right? That's what people call you. Fat boy Jim, big Jim. Hey, big boy. Hey, big jumbo. Hey, big. And you get tired of hearing that. Not only do you want to lose weight because you want to be healthier, but you don't want to have the first thing that people think of when they think of you as the fact that you're a fat bastard. You don't want that crap. You don't want to be big boy or big man anymore. So you start working out. Right? And even though now you're half the size you were before, you're still heavier than you want to be. People are still calling you Big Jim, but they're not calling you Big Jim as much. And all of a sudden they start calling you Jim. And they don't have Bigot anymore. No more Big Jim, just Jim. Right? And it feels good. You can go to a store and it's not the big and tall store. It's just a store. You made that change. You did. And in that instance, change is good. You're in a relationship that's not healthy. The other person is verbally abusive or emotionally abusive, or you can tell they don't want to be there. And maybe you think they're settling for you or you're settling for them. It's just not working. You're not happy. You're never happy. You don't even have light, happy moments. You just don't want to be there. It sucks. And you break up. And it feels bad for a while because even though the relationship was not that great, as indelicate it is to say, you had that warm body next to you in the bed. And a couple of times a week, maybe once a week, you got to boom, boom, jiggy, boom, the boom, jiggy, jiggy. And getting to boom, boom, jiggy, boom, the boom, jiggy, jiggy. Even if it was someone that you like but don't love, is way better than not boom, boom, jiggy, boom, the boom, jiggy, jiggy, right? So now you don't have your companion, even though it wasn't that much fun. You had someone there. You're in the bed by yourself. There's nobody there to boom, boom, jiggy, boom, the boom, jiggy, jiggy with, and that sucks. But all of a sudden you realize when you come home, even though he or she's not there, you're not coming home to an argument. You're not coming home to mean things being said. You're not coming home to someone that's nice to everybody else but you. And even though you feel a little lonely without that person there, you don't feel any emotional pain. You don't feel bad. And then you meet somebody else and they like you. And when you go to the house to pick them up, you smile on the way there and you're having a great time. Right? If you get to the point in a relationship where you have each other's keys, you come to the house, she's in there, and you're happy when she's in there. And you're happy when you pick up the phone. And you're happy when you think of her. And you're happy when you look at your phone and you see a picture of you standing there next to her looking out at the beach. You're happy. Felt bad to lose that person that was next to you, in bed with you. It felt bad to not have that significant other. It felt bad. It felt lonely. But as it turns out, as bad as that change seemed like it was in the beginning, now you realize that change was good. Sometimes when you say the phrase change is good, there's a question mark at the end of that sentence. And it isn't change is good, it's change is good. And a lot of times, I'll be honest with you, in many parts of your life, change is good is the right way to say it, because you don't know if the change is good at all. In the beginning, you don't know if the change is good. You don't get to find it out for a while. But if you take control of it, if you're the one running your personal show, if you're the one that initiates the change or makes a positive adjustment when the change happens to you, you get to take that question mark away. And it goes from change is good to change is good. So I hope if you got any changes that you need to make, you get to pull that question mark off and put a period there. Hell, you can put an emoji next to it with a smiley face. Change is good. That's what I hope for you, you bastards. Okay, folks, this has been episode number 367 of the S. Anthony Says podcast. Thank you very much for everything. Thanks for the love. Thanks for sticking with me this long. Okay, we're coming up on year 6 in I think. Yeah, at the end of this year to be, I think in October, to be year 6 of this podcast. Thank you for sticking with me. Do me a favor. If you like this podcast, tell friends about this podcast. Yeah, and I need you to rate this podcast, review this podcast, subscribe to this podcast. And if you love this podcast, and you do, remember I have a second podcast called The S. Anthony Thomas Show. Now that podcast is a little bit different. I still do my rants on that podcast, but I also have interviews on that podcast, and I'm going to start doing a lot of interesting things with that podcast once I start performing again. So go and subscribe to that podcast as well. This podcast is on Podbean. The S. Anthony Thomas Show is on Anchor. And both of these podcasts are on everything. Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, I guess it's going to be called soon. Spotify. Everywhere that the podcast can be, both of these podcasts are. And if you like them, subscribe to them and rate them and tell a friend, you bastards. Much love to you all. I will talk to you again on this podcast next Sunday, because that's when this podcast comes out. For the new people, this podcast comes out Sundays. And the other podcast, I'm not telling you when it comes out. You go subscribe to that podcast and you'll find out. Yeah, I said it. Okay, folks, I'm going to say goodbye to you on a count of 3. I'm going to do it the way I always do it. And I want you to do it with me. Are you ready? Of course you are. 1, 2, 3. S. Anthony out.
Smile. Go ahead and giggle. We're gonna get wild. Go ahead and clap. Go ahead and cheer. We're gonna have a good time.